nervous.
Yeah. Lovely.
That's well done. Good evening. We are at the Geneva Salon 2014, and this is the 11th year Koenigsegg is here, right?
I guess so. The first year we was here was 2002, so it's 12th year.
12th year actually, yeah. 12th year. And it's the premiere of the 121. So I would like to ask you, Christian, to give a brief introduction of the car and then go over its features on the outside and also especially on the interior and the settings.
Right, so yeah, I guess I will start on the inside. Those who know Koenigsegg cars since before, of course, recognize a lot in here. It's not a huge difference, but the main objective was, of course, to make it more track focused and as light as possible. So the first thing that you notice, I guess, when you're sitting here is that we're sitting in new seats. These are the lightest seats we've ever made. With the rails, they can move backwards and forwards, so we can set them up and down for customer preference. But with the rails and the seat belts, it's 9.8 kilos, which is extremely light compared to any other seat I've heard of. And they have a memory foam, kind of a Tempur-Pedic style memory foam. So they gel themselves to different body sizes and hold on to your body really good at track driving. It also is the same material. The material was developed in the 60s for NASA shuttles to spread G-forces during rocket takeoff so you wouldn't faint. So we thought it was a good idea to have it in our seats. And we actually had it in our first seat we ever made on the CC8S.
I remember that, and also in the CCR, I believe.
We did, yeah.
Yes,
so
I remember that name.
It was, all the customers really loved it, so we've gone back to that again, and it makes the seat really, really comfortable. Even though it's thin foam and light, it's a super solution. Then we have more visible carbon in these areas.
A-pillars.
A-pillars is kind of not fully covered by leather, it's just small Alcantara patches to make it lighter and more sporty. We have a new interior illumination we can put on and off here, and we don't have an interior rear view mirror because we have an air scoop covering the rear
window.
Exactly, and as we don't have the glass area over the engine in this car, we put the ghost where the glass used to be. And if you stand in front of the car, you see the ghost through this little glass area we left, which is in front of the air scoop, so it still kind of is part of the car.
Look down on it, and this is the first car I've experienced in the world that has carbon fiber sunlights.
Yeah, so in order to save weight, we made them in naked carbon fiber. And it matches well the new little bit more sporty padding area around the A-frame. Also the roof locks are completely different as they are integrating the roof in the rigidity of the car. We wanted to save as much weight as possible, so by integrating the roof as a part of the car we didn't have to reinforce the chassis more, but we got a lot of strength up here as well for the extra G-force loads, as the car has over 2 Gs in cornering capability and a lot more downforce. What is also interesting with these seats, we come further back and lower down than our original seats, and we also modify this mechanism a little bit so the steering wheel can go further forward, and the new lighter pedal box, which is a little bit more centrally placed and 12 millimeters further forward, so it's 30 millimeter down, 30 millimeter back, more space with the pedal, more space here, so it's actually very, very roomy. It's almost like we have a bigger monocoque, but we have managed it by optimizing other parts, which is of course a much more cost-efficient way of making a car bigger than changing the monocoque. And actually it is in a way a completely new monocoque. It looks the same, it has exactly the same shape, but it's completely new because we've changed all the layup of the carbon fiber. It's a new type of carbon fiber material which is used in Formula One today, which didn't exist 4 or 5 years ago, which is stiffer and stronger than what we used to have. So we upgraded all the carbon fiber bodywork and the chassis to that material, and only in the chassis we managed to save 20 kilos, even though we maintained the characteristics of the chassis.
It's as strong as before, or even more?
It is as strong as before, but the roof being locked in, it's even stronger for the one-to-one.
Yes.
But it already had 65,000 Newton meters per degree, so that was already fine, but it's just a little extra. So this is the clever thing about carbon fiber, that you can make something completely new with different layup that looks the same, but it behaves differently. So that's kind of interesting.
And that is because the evolution of the carbon fiber material, the evolution, the technology evolution.
Yeah, so you can actually redo your car by changing to a newer generation carbon fiber, but it looks the same, but it will be lighter and stiffer and whatever you want. Then if we're sitting in here, we have this iPhone app, which I have showed quite a lot of people, so we can, and I can show it here as well.
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe we start with that then. So we have a 3G connectivity to the car.
Is Telenor
we're working. Well, we have done the hardware.
Yes.
And the communication software to and from the car.
Yes.
Telenor is providing us with, sorry, I'll turn this off. Is providing us with a cloud, worldwide internet cloud that we hook up to. So that's great for our customers. They always have connectivity. It's part of the price of the car, worldwide. And in that cloud, we can put in software for the customers they can download at their convenience. So that is what Telenor is doing for us.
So is it do you have a SIM card in the car then?
There is a SIM card in the car from Telenor, correct.
Even though you should save weight, you have an additional SIM card in it.
We've actually, the car is 80 kilos lighter than our normal Agera R, but we've added 30 kilos in functionality, in hydraulics, in lifting systems, in flaps, in wings, in telecommunication, in active suspension. So we've actually saved 110 kilos. And that's why it's only 80 kilos lighter.
Yeah, because you added this features.
Yeah, exactly. So here we have an app that will be possible to download on the App Store. So for example, if you go to a track like Nürburgring, it will pop up here when you're there. You're at the Nürburgring, it will see it automatically. Then you push here, this is just now, we haven't been there yet, so these are fake numbers. Someone saw this on YouTube, it says 614, so
it's a good target.
It is fake, okay? We will see. So anyway, you get every lap you do, it just keeps on counting. And up to 10 laps, and then it starts flipping over the old laps. And you can also leave the best ones and so on, depending on how you set it. And then you see your average speed around the track.
That's a good average speed.
You see your top speed, which is pretty good too. Your top RPM, and your top G-forces.
Speaking of top speed on Nordschleife, didn't the Koenigsegg CCR get the top speed record on the straight at the Sport Auto Super Test back in the days?
we heard there was a red Aguirre there. We weren't there from the factory, but there is a video on YouTube.
But the CCR, I'm talking about the CCR.
Oh yeah.
The sport auto.
Yeah, the sport auto. Yeah,
super test.
Yeah, that was the fastest they've ever driven.
Yeah, it was 314, 318 or something.
I think it was more. It was like maybe something.
Well over 300.
It was the only car that ever went over 300 until that point, and it was with a huge margin. It was like 15-20 kilometers over.
And this was like 6 years ago.
6 years ago, absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can do this, and you can share this with your let's say one-to-one friends. So you can turn the app off so it's not visible to others, or you can turn it on so your one-to-one friends can see what you're doing. For example, they can see where you are, what your position is, where you're driving around. Also, in the parking lot, you can honk your horn or flash your lights. You have body controllers. For the show we have made here, so you can adjust the wing up and down and the chassis up and down to show the active systems. And you can lower and raise the right and left hand side window. You can see your interior and exterior temperature. You can unlock left and right hand side door.
That's a great evolution step, even in a track focused car, as the one-to-one that you increase it the current technology.
Right. I think this is quite important for a car that is parked a lot, like most hyper, or in this case mega cars.
Yeah, that's right. That's a new.
So you can see your fuel level. You know, do I need to fill up fuel directly when I go, or am I fine for my trip? Oh, I probably should put my trickle charger on. The battery is a little bit
low.
That's
right, trickle charger.
And we're going to increase this up functionality with a CAN bus system to the battery, so you can actually turn your battery on and off here. Your car will die, but you can turn it off if you really want to save battery. So it's kind of a nice thing. But on top of this, we have this new button here in our center console, which says aero device status.
Exactly.
And this is a little bit preliminary. We're still working on the graphics. Yeah. It's not perfect here with Laguna and so on. Yeah. But anyway, here you see your rear wing position, your front flaps left and right position, your front ride height position, your rear ride height position, your front dampers, compression rebound, left side compression rebound, right side, and same for the rear, and your EDIF operations. So you can put on this dynamic track mode on. Yeah. And then you can push this cloud button, and then it will download. It will check your GPS status.
Exactly.
And if it notices that, oh, there's a track here, it will say available numbering dynamic download. Yeah. If there is an available download, then it downloads to the car, and then you put on this dynamic track mode. Then it means it's a pre-active setup. Yep. So before you go into the carousel, for example, at Nürburgring, we will, right before the carousel, stiffen up the outer suspension a little bit and raise the springs, so you can go faster in the carousel. Then just before the Flugplatz, as we want to have a low ride height at Döttingerhöhe, but not at Flugplatz when we're landing, we raise the car a little bit before Flugplatz and stiffen up the suspension so we land better. And then on the exit out to the Döttingerhöhe, before we reach a high speed, it's already starting to lower itself, because it knows it will be high speed, because we have geotagged these positions around the track.
And it's comparing in real time to the GPS location of the car.
Yes, and this is the interesting part. Of course, you can have intermittent GPS connectivity, but we have steering axle sensors. We have, you can see here, we have G-force sensors, tire pressure sensors, and we have, which is not important for this, but we also have wheel speed sensors. So even with intermittent GPS communication, with all these other inputs, it calculates exactly where the car is. But if the intermittency is too long and the car gets uncertain, I'm not 100% sure, it goes into standard sport mode, and the dynamicness stops. But even with some satellite miscommunication, you usually can keep on going.
Yes, kind of a GPS reception in the navigation in a car works when you go into a tunnel.
Similar philosophy, but a little bit more advanced with the G-forces and stuff like that.
Or a lot more advanced with that.
I guess, I guess. So that's kind of a nice feature. So, for example, if a customer, Chinese customer, goes to the Shanghai Grand Prix circuit and we haven't been there, if he's lucky, he can call us, we fly in a technician, we drive with him and we set up the car for that track, and then we upload that in the cloud and geotag it, so when the next customer comes there, he can download that track.
So we share it. It's shareable.
We will keep on filling it up over time and refining it. Maybe we notice in that corner it's even a little bit better doing this, and then we do a new upload, and then if someone goes there, they can use it.
So after each track that's recorded, it's uploaded into the cloud.
Exactly.
All the data.
Exactly. So the first track will be Ängelholm test track. Very boring.
Straight there.
And then we have a Knutstorp around the corner, and then we will have Papenburg in Germany.
Then we could build a Top Gear track on the Ängelholm track.
Yeah, exactly. So we will just keep on filling it up, and when a customer asks us to come and join him, we will try to do that, and then we will upload that track. And
yes.
So on.
So you could build like the ultimate how you do
library.
That. Exactly,
yeah.
and take the best apex for every turn.
So it's like the car is clairvoyant. It knows what will happen because we've been there before. It's just like a recording.
Exactly. And I see it's a new handle here as well.
Yeah, it's a new handle. It's a 70-bit weight. It's half the weight of the old one.
Yeah.
It's full carbon fiber, machined aluminium, hollow carbon fiber tube, and a nice little Koenigsegg logo in here.
And I saw a little...
This is also new. This is just polished carbon side here, no leather. And we have this nice orange piping here and around the dashboard here.
Here is also polished carbon.
Yeah.
And why don't you paint this?
Well, some customer wants it covered with leather Alcantara.
Yeah.
It is a nice carbon fiber piece, so in this car we have saved weight.
And no clear coat also?
No, it's just polished.
Exactly.
I think we spoke about the roof locks, but they are completely different to lock down the roof. But you can still take it off.
Yes.
So, but you can't bring it with you because of the roof scoop. And as that wasn't possible because of the roof scoop, we made air channels in the front of the car to get more downforce. But there's still 60% of the luggage space left.
Okay, so you still can have some luggage except the roof.
And it's dry, so it's still practical.
Yeah.
But you have to leave your roof at home or put it in another car if you want to take it off.
And I saw a little glass cross you have.
Well, that's standard in all our cars.
Yeah.
And knock on wood, we have never heard anyone had to use it, but it's just this little bit Swedish mentality that if you would flip your car, which you shouldn't, you can at least do this.
Can you demonstrate?
I don't want to demonstrate it now. But what I can say is that the glass is thinner on this car.
So it's easier.
It is easier to crush it. Exactly. Everything to save weight.
But I see it's also color coded. It's orange as well. Maybe all are orange.
Right, but they are all orange. And we've integrated the fire extinguishers into the new seats as well. So there are 2 fire extinguishers.
Yeah, right. That's right. One under here.
Yeah.
You see it?
Is it there?
Yep, it's there. Have you had a center marking here?
No, this is kind of again the track focused philosophy on this car.
And it's painted here also. It's painted and then clear coated.
Exactly. So you don't feel anything. And then it's Alcantara with orange stitching on the steering wheel.
And I really like the orange stitching here. It's a nice contrast to the darker leather. You really see them. Yeah, it's handmade.
It's quite elegant. And we moved the lifting system button here. Before we had it down here.
That's right. Here.
Now we have the new interior lights here instead.
Yes.
So it's just when you have to go over speed bumps, it's really fast. It lifts in a few seconds, like 2 seconds.
So you push it.
You just push it. You don't have to let go of the steering wheel to do that.
But what if I'm doing 250 on autobahn and I press that? Will it race?
No, it is not allowed to race over 60 kilometers per hour.
Makes sense.
So you can press it as much as you want.
Yeah, if I want to answer the phone, I race.
Yeah, exactly. That's no risk. So.
Okay. And a last thing, could you just tell about the work behind the center console? And it looks like it could be is it a lot of work involved with this? Is this real aluminum?
It's machined aluminium from billet.
Yeah.
And then after the machining, we polish it, and then we send it to a laser etcher which cuts these incredibly small, almost nano holes.
Yep.
Which is designed for the methodology is designed for medical equipment, for like medical filters, and then we send it for anodization.
So they're drilled?
No, they're laser etched.
That's right, laser etched.
Yeah. So we get this ghost effect when you turn them off.
And the steering wheel is also
you have the same philosophy here with the same type of buttons.
Yes.
So billet machined, polished, laser etched symbols which are hollow and then anodized. And it's CAN bus communication, so we can make this button do whatever we want inside the steering wheel.
And when you close off the light, it looks just aluminum with the logos
exactly. We can do that.
Exactly. Oh, you see here, beautiful logo. 1 to 1.
Yeah, 1 to 1.
And against handbrake, where is the handbrake?
The handbrake is here.
It looks like a regular handbrake.
It is a very regular handbrake, yeah.
Like I I dislike that small little button you have in the newer cars that is not a real handbrake.
Yeah. We've actually considered electric handbrake many times, but we've yet to find a solution which weighs less than a manual handbrake. So as it is lighter, we have kept it.
And I mean, in this type of car, it's nice to feel a mechanical feedback of like a handbrake, like now I know it's stuck, it's not going to roll away.
Yeah. On the LaFerrari they have integrated it in the rear brake caliper, which is a good solution, and as we make our own calipers we can do that as well, and we're calculating now if that would save a little bit of weight, then we will do it.
And the seat belts, are they any different from the...
Yeah, these are now, we usually have 4 points if we have these racing belts. Now they are 6 points, so they come up from the seat.
Ah, they're 6 points.
And the lower piece is integrated in the seat, so even if I'm sliding backwards and forward, it comes with the seat. And then we have a little Koenigsegg carbon fiber logo piece with the orange in it. So,
but that's a beautiful detailed work. It's like easy to miss such a small detail.
Right.
When you have the beautiful details everywhere. It's carbon fiber, and you painted this orange in the shield?
Well, we engraved the logo, and then we paintbrush in the orange, and then we polish it.
Beautiful. I love details, like even in this high power car.
And if we look at we have new wing mirrors as well. Actually, I will lower this. So I will close the door again. I can show you the door skin first. This is also new, just polished naked door skin panel, very lightweight, with an Alcantara armrest, which is a little bit more comfortable than the earlier version. So it's really nice to have your arm there. We have a new wing mirror, which gives more downforce, because it's not creating turbulence for the rear wing.
Yes. And
it is even a little bit more aerodynamic, and it's also just polished, very lightweight carbon. And you can flip these inwards like this, like that.
And I even see it has LED lamps on it?
It does, yeah. It's very simplistic.
Yes.
Before we had a nice aluminium trim around our all mirrors, but here we're saving weight.
Yes.
So we need turn signals, and we need LEDs, and that's all you get.
So it's a beautiful solution. I mean, and LEDs are in most cases really sharper than regular bulbs.
Yeah, and to me, I felt this is kind of what they would do in Formula One. If they need lights and are not allowed to put anything, they would do this super simple solution.
So the holes are drilled and you put LED lights.
Exactly, super simple.
I kind of understood that all myself.
And we're looking for the 2015 model. Yes. We're going to keep these mirrors as they give better rear view vision on top of the better downforce numbers and lower drag, but they stick out a little bit more. Yes. And for this car it doesn't matter so much, but we're looking at having them motorized here. So that when you open your door, it will come in automatically when you're doing that.
Ah, yes.
So you can park again very close to another car.
Yeah, so you don't scratch another car.
Because they're sticking out a little bit more.
Exactly.
Before we didn't need it, but now it could be a good idea. And if you're parked next to another, if you transport it, this is still a little bit outside of the door, but it's very close. But you can even flip them in up to here, even with the. I will show you with it. When I do this, I can even clear the glass there.
Yes, but then the car is wider than the mirrors.
Yeah, now the car is wider.
Exactly, so you shouldn't fool yourself and think you could drive through a garage door when they're folded up.
Right.
In that position. Okay, Christian, thank you for this very in-depth
one more thing.
Oh, yes.
All the one-to-ones have 6 speakers and amplifiers and fantastic stereo.
Yeah, it has a stereo, yes.
Which is insane given that we're aiming for one-to-one, but the customers ask for a track racing car with full everyday usability.
But is there air conditioning?
It's air conditioning.
Really?
Every feature we have in the other cars are still here, apart from the fact you can't put the roof in the front. And you have no interior rear view mirror because of the air.
And the air conditioning is, you could use it in Dubai or Emirates?
Absolutely, it's fully powerful for any climate condition on the planet.
So stereo and air conditioning still in the one-to-one. I'm impressed, I didn't think about that.
Otherwise it would be warm in here.
Yes. And you even have more reading lights, right? Before you only had these, now you have these as well.
Yeah, and we have also footwell lights.
That's right.
So your hand here, you can see it's shining here.
Exactly.
That's also new. Small things, but...
Yes, it's the small things that build a complete experience.
Right.
And also the rear here is beautiful with a quilted leather here and ghost.
Normally we put the leather in the roof on a panel.
Yes.
And then we put it up in the roof. But here we have just quilted the Alcantara, put leather around the edges, and then we boned it up to the roof. That's saving us 300 grams.
And I also see the seats themselves are really beautiful. Unpainted carbon, Koenigsegg logo. And yeah, the tempura material.
And they're fully ventilated. If you look at the backrest, they're holes straight through the seat.
That's right.
To make sure you don't get too warm.
And I really like this detail of the seat belts. It's beautiful. And here it says it's a development vehicle. So it's always going to be a development vehicle. It's like
yes.
Something. And here is clear coated, right?
Yeah, but it's also a protective film as people keep sliding in and out.
Ah, that's right.
So it's replaceable at service if it gets scratched.
That's right. Okay, Christian, thanks a lot for this super in-depth interview. Thank you, and congratulations again.
Thank you.
Ja, det blir super.